Hello everybody and welcome back with another episode of Universe Mode here on WWE 2k22. This is the April 22nd edition of Friday Night SmackDown as WWE Week continues here on the channel. We are live here from Albany, New York. If you're excited for this episode, we have a good one. Make sure you drop that like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more WWE content. And we're going to start tonight's episode off with a little bit of action. Sonya Deville makes her way to the ring for our first contest of the night. So Sonya Deville last week went one-on-one against Ronda Rousey. Unfortunately for her, she came up on the receiving end of a loss. Now Sonya Deville, the former WWE official, she's getting back into in-ring competition, considering she has been fired from that job as an official, and she had a tough draw last week. Let's all admit it. Ronda Rousey's not an easy first opponent, so she went to management and asked for a redemption match here tonight. So Sonya Deville wanted another match. She doesn't care who the opponent is. She said, just bring him to the ring and I will beat them. So Sonya Deville has laid down the open challenge and we'll see who steps up. Well, how about this? It is the return of Asuka. Asuka has answered the open challenge. She is here tonight in Albany, New York, and there she is. The Empress of Tomorrow has returned to the SmackDown brand, ready to go, as the fans in attendance are going crazy for the return of Asuka, the former women's champion, former Raw women's champion, former SmackDown Women's Champion, former NXT Women's Champion, former Women's Tag Team Champion. Asuka has done it all here in the WWE, and she is returning from a long layoff of an injury to Friday Night SmackDown. Well, if you're Sonya Deville, this ain't much better. Going up against somebody who hasn't seen action in quite some time, it can't really prepare for Asuka. I don't think Sonya Deville thought Asuka would be making her way to the ring here tonight. So Asuka, though, has a challenge in front of her. If she can pick up a win against Sonya Deville, that would put her in good shape. As you can see, yes, Asuka indeed is making her return. So it's our opening contest here on this week's episode of SmackDown. Sonya Deville versus Asuka one-on-one. And here we go. The night has started. Asuka and Sonya Deville. Asuka gets the early advantage, drops her with a code breaker to the face. Now Asuka has not seen competition in quite some time, so maybe there is a little bit of ring rust there that Sonya Deville can take advantage of. But on the flip side, Sonya Deville, it's not like she's seen a lot of in-ring competition recently. You know, she was an official for quite some time and is just finally getting back into the groove of things. So both superstars, though, have a nice opportunity here tonight to take that next leg up in the division. Asuka, obviously a very well-known striker, as she lays some left forearms into the face of Deville and answers with a kick of the back. Asuka now going to go for the first cover of the contest, and she doesn't even get a one count. Sonya Deville will get her shoulder up, but Deville does not look too comfortable here in the early going, as there's a knee to the side of Deville's head. Now Asuka, we know she's very well known in the striking, in the submission game. This is somebody you don't want to get into a kicking and punching contest with. While Sonya Deville does, I would think, have the mat experience in this matchup, you know, the former MMA superstar, so she got some striking game, and she can work on a couple of submission holds of her own. But Asuka with a roundhouse kick to the face drops Deville in the corner. And Deville, though, going to try to fight out of it. There's a kick to Asuka. There's another one. She grabs a hold of her opponent, kicks her in the midsection. More kicks to the rib cage and just tosses Asuka around the ring. Deville, the former WWE official, you know, she was relieved of her duties thanks to some, you know, maybe biased, I would say, nicely biased officiating in terms of what went on with Naomi for so long and just some other situations like making Ronda Rousey compete a couple months ago with a arm tied behind her back. So Vince McMahon has relieved Sonya Deville of her duties. She's back in the in-ring competition now, and she has her work cut out for her as Asuka goes for another pin. One, and just a kick out at one by Deville. So far, Asuka has dominated the early part of this matchup. Hasn't shown any signs of ring rust here in the early going. As she takes a hold of Deville and just drives another knee into the side of the face. Knocks her down again. Now she's going to apply some sort of a triangle, but Deville, you saw her, she did get the hand on the rope, so that did force the rope break. Asuka gets Deville back to her feet. She's going to go underneath, and she's going to lock it in. She's going to... Is this the Asuka lock? Yes, it is. Asuka locks in the Asuka lock center of the ring for Deville. Will she tap out? She's trying to fight it. Asuka looking for the submission. It doesn't look like Deville is going to tap, but I think Asuka might have just made her pass out. Goes for the count. 1, 2, and yes, Asuka picks up the victory in her return to SmackDown. Didn't quite get the submission victory over Deville, but did make her pass out to the Asuka lock. So Asuka with a big return to Friday Night SmackDown. This could shake up the women's division here on Friday night. Asuka, great to see her back in the ring. So Asuka continues to celebrate, and oh, what is this? The surprises are not done. Io Shirai now making her way to the ring. Oh, we didn't see this one coming. We get a little 2-for-1 action here on SmackDown. 2 surprises tonight as Io Shirai, the genius of the sky from NXT, is now on the blue brand. And she is making her way to the ring with Asuka still standing in it. Well, this should be quite the confrontation. Shirai, very accomplished performer, back all the way to her roots in Japan. Made her way to NXT, won the NXT Women's Championship and the Women's Tag Team Championship. So Io Shirai has the credentials. She is somebody who, if somebody's going to step up the Asuka, I am not surprised it's Io. So we'll have to see what happens as Io now in the ring. Asuka watching on from the outside. She is making her way back, though, into the ring. Both superstars will kind of confront themselves in the middle of the ring. And looks like they're going to shake hands. Io and Asuka, both on Friday Night SmackDown. So, a very explosive start to the show so far. We saw Asuka pick up the victory. Next, it'll be Kofi Kingston versus Ridge Holland. We'll see Los Lotharios go up against Mustafa Ali and returning Mustafa Ali, teaming up with Mansoor. A lot of returns tonight. Aaliyah going one-on-one against Shayna Baszler and Shinsuke Nakamura versus main event Jey Uso in the main event. Kofi Kingston picked up the victory over Ridge Holland. Mustafa Ali got the pin for his team in his SmackDown return over Los Lotharios. And Shayna Baszler made quick work of Aaliyah. Now time for our main event. So Shinsuke Nakamura will go one-on-one against one half of the Usos and Jey Uso here tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura, your #1 contender for the Universal Championship. We will see Nakamura go one-on-one with Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at the upcoming Backlash pay-per-view in about 3 weeks' time. And Shinsuke has been on quite the hot streak recently. Unfortunately, him and his tag team partner Rick Boogs unable to pick up the tag team titles at WrestleMania thanks to Rick Boogs tearing his quad. We hope Boogs is on the fast track to recovery. But Shinsuke Nakamura on that next SmackDown won a fatal 4-way to win #1 contendership. Included Xavier Woods, Ridge Holland, and Madcap Moss. So Shinsuke Nakamura, he wanted a matchup against one of the Usos here tonight to prepare, and he's going to get that matchup as main event. Jey Uso has stepped up to the plate, as Shinsuke Nakamura will see if he can ride this hot streak into tonight's matchup. Now here come the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, making their way to the ring. They've been SmackDown Tag Team Champions for quite some time. It's been over 8 months. The longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions that we have seen on the blue brand. But tonight, it's Jey Uso going at it one-on-one against Shinsuke Nakamura. The main event, he likes to call himself. He is a former Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner, so he has accomplished something in his singles career, and somebody that you don't want to take lightly in the ring. So while you might think of Jey Uso as a SmackDown or a tag team competitor, he has the singles experience as well. But it is time for our main event here tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jey Uso in the main event. And the bell has rang. And Shinsuke Nakamura gets the early jump on Jey Uso as he drops him with the right hand. Now, this is a good opportunity for both superstars. Shinsuke Nakamura obviously looking for some more momentum going into his matchup against Roman Reigns. A little bit of quick covers. It gets 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Shinsuke Nakamura trying to put Jey Uso away early. Like we were saying, though, a second ago, Shinsuke Nakamura has an opportunity to continue his momentum. Obviously, that was a big Fatal 4-Way win a couple weeks ago. And then if he can knock off Jey Uso here tonight, that keeps his momentum on the side of Nakamura in terms of his feud against the Bloodline. While Jey Uso's got a couple of opportunities tonight. One, he can show that he still is the main event Jey Uso. And two, knocking off Nakamura tonight would do big things for the Bloodline. You know, Roman Reigns would be very happy to see Nakamura take the loss to the Usos. And I'm assuming they've gotten strict orders to pick up the victory as we get another cover here from Nakamura. Gets 1 and a kick out by Jey Uso. He's got his brother Jimmy Uso in the corner as he hits a flying clothesline, excuse me, that knocks Nakamura off his feet. He counters with a knee of his own to keep it going. Nice block there by Jimmy, and then he's going to hit a toss over the top to Nakamura. Excuse me, that was Jey Uso. As both superstars now in the ring. Uso has him up on his shoulders, maybe thinking Samoan drop, but Nakamura will fight out of it. Slides out the back. Has a hold of Jey and will plant him in the center of the ring. Looks like a modified Uranagi. As now Nakamura brings Uso to his knees. Gets a couple of kicks to the chest of Jey Uso. Nakamura, the king of strong style. These are some kicks you don't want to be on the receiving end as he hits a roundhouse to the dome of Jey Uso. Now dragging him into the center of the ring. Looks like Nakamura is going to go for a pin. I think he might have wasted a little too much time, though, as he gets a 1, a 2, and then a kick out by Jey Uso. Now, not really surprised to see Jey Uso be the singles man to step up. We've talked about his singles credentials. Jimmy hasn't had that many singles opportunities in the past, so I think Roman wanted to go with the familiar face in that department in Jey Uso. But right now, Nakamura in full control as he heads to the top rope on a down Uso, and he drops the knee across the chest of Jey. Nakamura looking all sorts of good right now as he has full control of this matchup, but Jey's going to sweep Nakamura off of his feet. Shinsuke, though, quickly back to this vertical base, and a flapjack now by Jey drops Nakamura again. So Jey Uso looking to take some control in this matchup as he slides into a cover on top of Nakamura, but he can't even get a 1 count over the King of Strong Style. Talked about Nakamura, a former Intercontinental Champion, former United States Champion, a former King of the Ring winner. Well, not a King of the Ring winner. He won that crown, excuse me, from Happy Corbin. So I guess you could say he's a King of the Ring. As there's a big Uso splash, though. Gets a 1, a 2. This could do it. No, Nakamura kicks out at 2.5. I thought Jey might have had it there for a second. Now it looks like he's lining Nakamura up for that super kick, and he delivers it to the top of Nakamura's. Now he drops a couple of legs across the sternum area of Nakamura. Now Jey, though, back to the top rope. Looks for that splash again. I think he went to the well too many times. Nakamura gets the knees up, and then hits a Kinshasa. Out of nowhere, the Kinshasa on Jey as Nakamura into the cover, and that will do it. Shinsuke Nakamura picks up the win over Jey Uso. Hit that Kinshasa out of nowhere. So big win here for Nakamura here tonight. Jey Uso back to his feet. And a little bit of confrontation here. Jey will extend the arm to Nakamura. So that's very interesting. A little sign of respect there from Jey Uso to Nakamura as he exits the ring. Nakamura goes on to keep celebrating. And wait a minute, back in the ring. Both Usos now in the ring. I should have known. The Usos now jumping Nakamura while he celebrates. And this is what you'd expect out of the Bloodline. And I knew it was very odd to see the handshake offered. Well, that's because the Usos had something else in mind. Roman Reigns, I'm assuming, ordered this attack as now Uso will go to the top. And this is looking for a splash, and it delivers. And look who's making his way to the ring. Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the WWE and Universal Champion, is here to pick up the bones. Well, you have to think this was a premeditated assault. I don't think Roman really cared in the end if if Jey Uso picked up the victory, as now he can head to the ring against a prone Shinsuke Nakamura. This is not what you expect of somebody who's in God mode. You don't need to take shortcuts. You don't need to beat up injured opponents. But Roman Reigns, nonetheless, is making the walk to the ring. He's taking the shirt off, taking the title belt off, and now is going after Nakamura. Nakamura trying to make his way back to his feet. Instead is met with a overhead belly-to-belly by the champion. And now Roman Reigns in the corner. He's looking for it. Nakamura back to his feet, doesn't know what's behind him, and there's the spear. Roman Reigns with a spear to Nakamura, who just went through a whole matchup. And Roman now in the face of the crowd, trying to prove why he is the greatest. And he's thinking another one. Roman not done after one spear. Nakamura, don't turn around. And there's the second spear, drives Nakamura off his feet. That is very disappointing, to say the least, of Roman Reigns. Not that they're surprised, though. That's because in 3 weeks' time, it'll be Roman Reigns versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Universal Championship at the Backlash pay-per-view. Also on the blue brand, we'll see Charlotte Flair go one-on-one against Ronda Rousey in a submissions match for the Women's Championship. But next episode of Universe Mode is Monday Night Raw, and we're going to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of Randy Orton. He will be in action in our main event as we celebrate the great career of the Viper. And also, don't forget, Bianca Belair in her hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee, has laid down the open challenge. She asked anybody to step up and challenge her for the Raw Women's Championship. All that on the next episode. But yes, we are building towards Backlash in 3 weeks' time in-game, about 2 weeks' time in real life as we look to get caught up. We will see our very first pay-per-view of the series. It is Backlash. Hope you guys are ready for that one. If you are, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more Universe Mode content. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.